Welcome back, Patriots, for another episode of the Bald Brad Show. And man, oh man, it's been a hot minute, hasn't it? It's been a hot minute. Matter of fact, in 5 years of doing this show, that's the longest break we've ever taken. Over a month. How you guys doing? Do I look the same to you? Is everybody okay? We're back. Alrighty, well, it's good to see all of you in the chat. More people will be stumbling in here. Hopefully you saw the little quirky video I made about the announcement that today is in fact March 9th. And you know what? I did not plan it the way to happen right after daylight saving time. Yeah, that was a mistake. Right? I mean, I don't want to say I was sleeping in, but I was pushing the limits here about going an extra 30 minutes. But make sure the mic is good, folks. Make sure you can hear me. We did move. We're in a different place, as you could see. So there might be a little bit of an echo. We're trying to still get everything settled in here. But we're in another closet. We went from one closet to another closet, but it's good to see all of you. Thank you for everybody saying welcome back. Good morning. It's good to see all of you. We got a lot of news to cover. What the hell happened? You leave for a little bit, you get a new job, you move, and now I don't know. We're in somewhat of a quote unquote war, even though it's not really one. We're just kind of spanking some whoop ass. That's an old phrase from Rob Schneider, right? Or I guess it's Adam Sandler. Donald Trump decided just to open up a can of whoop ass on the Iranian regime over there, and that guy. Yeah, that guy got blown up. Well, we got a lot of news to cover, folks. It's really good to see you. And thanks, Mizzy. I appreciate that. Saying it was a nice video. Enough of me talking, ranting, and raving. Again, we're going to be a little bit dusting off the cobwebs here, making sure all the technology's good. But as long as the mic's working and my face looks somewhat okay, then I think we're fine. Alrighty. Well, the big news, other than Iran, which we'll get into in a moment here. Let's make sure we even know how to work the buttons now. Yep, now you guys see my screen. I don't want that. Where are we at here? Nope. Yep, there we go. That's the one I wanted. Well, the latest scare in New York City is being tied to the near-miss IED attack yesterday at a controversial protest. What's fascinating here is the downplay from the media to talk about this. It is, you get these sporadic little segments. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying nobody's talking about it, but it's really wild to watch what took place. I believe it was Austin, Texas, right? Where the guy had the Allah shirt on, the sweater, and went out and started shooting up 6th Street, which is a very popular nighttime area. And then you had what took place on Southwest the other day. I think it was either yesterday or the day before. And then you had another scare at another airport that caused major delays. And then now you have what's going on in New York City, where these two guys had full-fledged bombs made. I mean, there is like 4K pictures of these. At first it was coming out saying they were smoke bombs. Oh, please, really? Come on. And well, we'll see if we get some footage of that. I don't know if we could show it on YouTube. We could show it definitely on Rumble, but so the New York police locked down part of Manhattan, Upper East Side on Sunday as the investigation into a terror scare near the mayor's residence expanded after officers discovered another suspicious device. It gets worse, actually, believe it or not. The New York City Police Department warned residents to avoid East End Avenue between 81st Street and 82nd Street as officers responded to what authorities described as an ongoing police activity. Later, police confirmed the situation was connected to an investigation into an improvised explosive device, an IED, folks. Okay, we were told, it's no big problem, no big deal by Mamdani. Zoran. In connection with the ongoing investigation into the improvised explosive device deployed yesterday, the NYPD has identified a suspicious device in a vehicle and an East End Avenue of 81st and 82nd. So, bonkers. The incident unfolded Saturday when two opposing demonstrations gathered near East End and East 87th Street. So this is how the left works, right? Anytime you say something they don't like, well, they're either going to shoot you like they did with Charlie Kirk, or they're going to stab you like they did to one individual who I believe is the same individual that was at this protest, that was counter-protesting another protest. Or I guess now at this point, they'll just blow you up. That's how the left works, right? But don't worry, they're all inclusion, right? They want you to be involved. They want you to speak up on their behalf, right? They're the ones that are oppressed. Donald Trump's trying to remove their rights in some way, shape, or form. As far as which ones, they don't know. And now, like I said, they're just going to make IEDs and try to blow you up. They actually threw it at a police officer, an NYPD police officer. The guy, I've never seen a guy jump so high because he threw it right at his feet. Police said an 18-year-old counter-protester allegedly ignited and threw a device toward the protest area before it struck a barrier and extinguished itself near officers. Investigators said the device appeared to be a glass jar wrapped in a tape and packed with metal shrapnel, such as nuts and bolts, along with a fuse. I'm going to see if we get some video of it in a moment. In a statement Sunday, New York City Police Commissioner confirmed that the device used Saturday is not a hoax device or a smoke bomb. That, again, a lot of people are saying it was a smoke bomb because there was a lot of smoke coming out of it. Who the hell's going to throw a smoke bomb? Really? People are going to take the time to make one of those? Give me a break. Come on, you're trying to diffuse the story. You see what I did there? In fact, an improvised explosive device that could have caused serious injury or death after speculation swirled online of the actual threat level posed. These things aren't easy to build. You could build them in your home. But that was one thing I brought up with the Butler assassination attempt on Donald Trump's life, is you remember how that kid that's no longer with us, thank God, and probably in the pits of hell. You remember how when they went to the guy's house that they found in a van like all these explosives, and they all had caps, explosive caps on them, and all this stuff is tracked, all this stuff is traceable. You could find this stuff, but it's not exactly something that's easy to build. And this kid, like straight out of high school, somehow built all these explosives with these remote triggered caps on them, and never heard anything of it. By the way, we still haven't heard much from that, right? All these assassination attempts. It's ridiculous. I mean, don't get me on another rant here, but it's kind of, dropping the ball there, Kash Patel. Dan, who I love. Look, I love him. Doesn't mean I can't, poke him a little bit here. You also have the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force join the investigation as authorities analyze the devices to determine whether additional suspects or explosives may be involved. I heard there was another suspect. I heard there's a third guy they're looking for. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get that article up for all of you guys really quickly here. Because I, again, heard there was another one, a third hombre that they were looking for. So let's see if we can get that. Oh, well, here you go. You have links to ISIS, allegedly. I want to make sure we're okay here. Let's see if we get the right one again. There we go. Split screen. I'm trying to do a little bit of a different look on the article here. That's not exactly what I'm looking for. All right. Well, doing away. There we go. We'll do this. The FBI is reportedly looking at an attempted bombing. There you go. You heard it. However you pronounce these guys' names here. Not even going to bother. But the two New York City terrorists who hurled an IED at protesters were reportedly inspired by ISIS. Well, here we go. Let's
Sources telling CNN that both men that were arrested following these protests in relation to those two explosive devices admitted to having been inspired by ISIS. Now, I also want to add that last night when the police commissioner briefed the media on this incident, she did say that the investigation was still underway, and she emphasized that so far there appeared to be no nexus to the situation unfolding in Iran. So I just want to mention those two things right off the bat, because we are learning that while these two men said that they were inspired by ISIS, the commissioner did say last night that this incident did not specifically have a nexus to Iran. However, she did say the investigation is ongoing. Sources tell.
Why on the Chiron down here is there nothing about a terrorist attack? It just says IED hurled near Mamdani's home. I mean, it's CNN. Why are we asking questions here? Let's always go to the comments, because I always like to see what people are saying. We need to start revoking visas and initiating mass deportations. I don't know much about these. Man, my audio is really high. I don't know much about these two individuals. Again, I apologize for the audio here really quick. Just realized it's spiking. Again, we moved, so we're trying to make sure everything's kind of calibrated here for all of you. Let me know if it's too loud here. Well, what's fascinating here is I don't know much about these two individuals, so I don't know, in fact, if they're illegal aliens or if they're on visas or who they were. But let's see what this says here. What is known about these two individuals? Were they born? Which mosque did they attend? Their social media posts, etc. Here we go. Based on NYPD, ABC7, and FBI updates, the two individuals, 18 years old. Are they both 18 and 19 years old? They're from Pennsylvania, so that's where our boy Jeff lives. Both Pennsylvania residents who traveled to New York City for the counter protest. See, these people, man, they'll travel multi-state, right? They're so psycho that they have nothing better going on in their life than to travel from, well, I shouldn't say multi-state, but the Antifa does do multi-state stuff. They'll travel across the country for stuff like this. The devices confirmed IED shrapnel. So it looks like they grew up in here, but they told investigators they watch ISIS videos online. So they were self-radicalized because they're idiots. The question is, what were their parents doing? Do they have parents? Were their parents home? What were their parents doing? You can't ask questions, though, because the moment you start asking questions, guess what? You're racist, you're a bigot, you're a sexist, you're a homophobe, you're all those things. Well, let me see if I could get the... Oh, here we go. Look at this. Front page news today, folks. Look at that. Huh? So there's this idiot holding this idiot. And, well, I guess not holding him on. That is just holding the bomb. Bomb, 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 bomb. Y'all remember that movie? Let's see. Devil's Work. Iran picks Khamenei's son. We'll get to that in a moment. Look at these idiots. Can't even do his hair correctly. Jeez, please. This is what we have to deal with, folks. This is what we have to deal with. By the way, good morning. It's good to see all of you guys. I think I haven't spent enough time just acknowledging all the great people in here. How excited I am to see all y'all again. It's been a while. It's been a long time. All right, here's a video. So I believe this is the... I don't know if this was the first device thrown. I believe this is the second device that's being thrown. And the guy's just casually lighting it. And this is a video. I'll play it for you guys, I promise. But I want to set it up here really quick because Mamdani is blaming white supremacy on this. It's crazy how, you know, for some reason, they just can't blame the elephant in the room, we'll say. Did he say Allah? Did you hear that? Hold on a second. That's crazy. That's crazy. We got more. So that's him lighting it. Here it looks like a different angle. Man lights I love lights ordnance. Yeah, the guy lit a firecracker that you get in the back of a Nissan, you know? Yeah. Who says that? Hold on a second. Look, maybe that is the appropriate term to use. It just, in my opinion, kind of downplays it. Man lights ordnance. Come on. That's... Like, I'm going to say it. Again, it's probably the correct word to use, but it definitely sounds like something Joy Behar would say. From The View. That knucklehead. Here we go.
Guys, stay back. Turn around. Stay back. Stay back, guys.
No, like, just no few ground and pound elbows, you know what I mean? Just... right, just start ringing them on the guy's face just a little bit. Look, I'm just saying the guy threw a freaking bomb. He's a terrorist. Okay, I think we can rough him up a little bit more. You know what I mean? Just start, nothing crazy. You let it blend in, right? You couldn't get a hold of the guy. Stop resisting. You know what I mean? And you know, just rub the face on the asphalt just a little bit. You know, come on. The guy almost blew up a bunch of people, and they're just treating the guy like he's some sort of like freaking Middle Eastern royalty. If they don't put that guy in the car where he bangs his head, they need more training. Oh, he did say it. The only reason I'm calling out the Allah Akbar thing was because people were claiming that's what they heard. But as of last night, like they hadn't been confirmed by the NYPD. And so that's why in the video that I made on TikTok, I kind of held off saying that he said it because I just wasn't sure if that really took place because it was unconfirmed reports. Well, you got the guy saying it here. And also, I swear, and let me know in the chat, you guys heard it too, right? The Allah Akbar thing. Like right at the beginning of that first video, unless somebody added that in there. Come on, hit his head, hit his head, hit his head. Come on. Come on, put him in. All righty, well, there's nothing else to see on this one. By the way, shout out to the NYPD for still looking like the same cops that they had in Home Alone. Love that. Things don't change. I thought there was another angle here. Let's see what his is.
A developing situation outside Gracie Mansion, the official home of New York City's mayor, who at this time is Zoran Mamdani. The NYPD says it is now investigating a suspicious device found inside a vehicle. This comes after 2 men were arrested yesterday for throwing improvised explosive devices during 2 dueling protests near the mayor's mansion.
All right. Well, they're going to say the same thing. I want to get to what Mamdani said. Mamdani. Let's see that. Let's see this. All right. Here we go. So, nope, that's old. Hold on. Un momento, please. You'd think I'd have this queued up, but I don't. Give me one moment. Un momento. Again, it's good to see everybody in the chat. He called the counter-protesters white supremacy, basically trying to, like, underskirt what took place. Here we go. Nope. Why are these all old? Like, no. This is the crazy thing about this, right? I do this every single day. And it is still tough to find like news articles that correlate what the mayor of New York City, of which a terrorist attack just took place yesterday, to find what he said regarding it. Isn't that wild? Do you know what I mean? I don't know what it is, but again, you had that guy that shot up Austin, that 6th Street. Yeah, it made some news. Not wall-to-wall coverage, in my opinion, in the way that it should have. Then you had the Southwest Airlines incident, which, while I'm trying to look this up, maybe we can get the video on that. And then you had this take place where you got guys throwing 2 bombs. It's insane. And then you're struggling trying to find what people said about something. Like, this should be everywhere. The fact that the guy's saying, oh, well, white supremacy... well, we gotta get rid of it. Matter of fact, I think I retweeted it yesterday. Hold on, give me un momento, please. Let's see what we have here. Where's the Mamdani thing? I don't have it. A bunch of other stuff I want to get to a little bit later. Jeez, Louise, man, people. He was all about the snack bar. I don't know what you guys are doing. Sleeper cells waking up. That's the scary thing, right? That's something we talked about for years, especially with Sarah Adams talking about it. And well, with the massive influx of what you have from Joe Biden's tenure of bringing in anybody and everybody, it kind of makes sense why these people would be waking up. The issue is that the ones in these 2 young idiots that tried to blow people up, they were self-radicalized. So I wouldn't say that they're exactly a sleeper cell. I mean, would that be the definition? Maybe. Let me see if we can get Mamdani's NYC remarks here. This was the initial device, I believe, if I have this correctly, that he threw. So the one that I showed you previously was the second one. There was multiple. Matter of fact, I heard there was 3. This is the first one. I believe this is the guy I was referring to earlier. I don't know his name. I've seen him around. He seems like he's more of an agitator than anything, which I'm not really for. But, you know, he has every right to go out and protest, just as the other psychos do, but not to throw bombs. And this guy did not throw a bomb, but I believe he was stabbed by Antifa a month or 2 ago. I could be wrong on that. Please, don't hold me to that. Austin's trying to charge the cops that deleted the wacky dude. Yeah, I heard about that, Angel. It's crazy. So this is the first one they threw.
Support the white liberal women! They're killing you! Whoa! 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 What the fuck? That was a fucking bomb! Was it? Somebody threw a fucking bomb, bro! That's a nail bomb! Jesus. What the fuck?
I didn't sign up for this.
Holy fuck! Yeah, that was a nail bomb! Yo, Jay! Jesus is king!
And he made it that that nail bomb didn't go off. Jesus is king. Thank you, Lord God. Thank you, Lord God.
What just happened?
Thank you, Lord God. They threw a nail bomb at us and it didn't explode because Jesus is still on the throne of my life. Thank you, Jesus.
They just threw another one. They're throwing, get the goat. Someone's got to get the goat.
Oh, the goat.
Someone's got to get the goat. Will take care of it. Don't worry. It wasn't bomb.
Sorry to laugh. Somebody has to get the goat. There is a goat there. I'm kind of blocking it. I'm so... It's like, what are they saying? Did they say goat? There's a goat right here. There's definitely a real life goat that's there for some reason. I don't know why. All right, so I'm sorry. Yeah, for those on audio, you're probably wondering what the hell's going on. There's legitimately a goat tied to one of those like riot railings, or you know how they contain crowds and stuff like that. There's not really much of a crowd. So here's where the Mamdani quote is, I believe. Let me make sure I can do a control find here. Yeah, here it is. All right, so I had to go to the New York Times. Embedded. Look how far down I am, but I'm halfway through the article before we get to it. The mayor and his wife were not home at the time of the protest. In a social media post on Sunday, Mr. Mamdani called Mr. Lang, who I believe was the guy with the bulletproof vest you just called us, like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Mr. Lang, a white supremacist. I don't know if he is or isn't. This very well could be true. The problem is, it's like the boy who cried wolf. The left always says that somebody's a white supremacist. The left always says, oh, you're racist, you're a bigot. And now we're kind of in a realm of which you could see that somebody like me that doesn't follow every single knucklehead that's out on the streets acting amok. And again, maybe I shouldn't be calling the guy a knucklehead. I don't know who he is. But the problem is that when you call somebody white supremacist so many times, like everybody's a white supremacist according to the left, that when somebody legitimately could be, I don't know if they are or are not. Whereas if I didn't hear this term come out of every leftist mouth every 30 seconds, then I'd probably give it a little bit more credibility, and I'd probably look into it a little bit more, like, oh, wow, like really, like that's kind of odd. That's strange they would say something like that. Well, Mamdani called him a white supremacist whose protest was rooted in bigotry and racism. And so the reason for this language is because, well, it gives a little bit more of an affirmation to why those individuals threw those two bombs, you guys. Well, who doesn't want to, that idea that the left loves to do, who doesn't disagree with punching a Nazi? We don't like Nazis. Nazis are evil. They're scumbags. So yeah, they deserve to be punched. Well, when somebody looks at you as a Nazi or a white supremacist, even though you're not, well, you still deserve to be punched. That's the crazy idiocracy of the ideology of the progressive left. And that's why we wrote an entire book on it, how the left is destroying America. It's the same tactics that they did in Mussolini's time, the same exact tactics, rooted in bigotry and racism. But he added that what followed was even more disturbing. I'm not really sure why you have to add that in there. The first part, I think we are a little bit sure, because we just mentioned, because it gives a little bit more credibility. Well, don't worry. Again, they're just blowing up white supremacists. Yeah, Nazis. It's okay. It's fine, you guys. Yeah, you should ask questions. The guy should be released. I mean, according to the progressive left, they deserve second chances. How many times have we read an article or done a TikTok video or done any sort of video about some guy that's been let loose after 30 priors, 130 priors, 100 priors? It doesn't matter what it is. And he goes out, stabs somebody in the neck, or deletes somebody in the street, or does some sort of heinous thing to somebody, even though he done like 30 prior heinous things to somebody, and they just let him out. Why are these guys locked up? Yeah, according to Mamdani, they were doing good work. Yeah, they were trying to blow up white supremacists and rooted in bigotry and racism. Racist is evil. We always say that here on the show, and I'm not being satirical whatsoever. Racism is evil. It's disgusting. So is bigotry. We know why he said it. The attempt to use an explosive device and hurt others is not only criminal, it's irreprehensible, and the antithesis of who we are, the mayor said, thanking the police for its response. But I thought we wanted to defund the police. I thought the police were pigs. I thought they were animals. I thought they were racists. I thought they were bigots too. That ain't my words. That's what the progressive left loves to say about these people. So it looks like this individual got maced a little bit. And, oh, there you go. Yep. You're always looking for it. There's a couple things you always want to look for in these protests, right? What is it called? The Kifa or whatever. Yep. Probably a Hamas sympathizer, lover. You still have the masks on like it's COVID. Yep. But they do it to cover their face because they're cowards. Again, these people will delete you guys. Don't try to go out and even mess with these people right here. They have no life. They have nothing to lose. And only thing they see is gaining is deleting you, because even though you're not, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're a sexist, you're a homophobe, right? You're you're something always to these people. Even after smoke cleared on Saturday, the chaos and shouting continued. Drums were banged. Someone threw a hot dog. It's real journalism right there, folks. Someone you gotta make sure you're right. Hey, the editor said you need 5,000 words. You got to make sure you get those 5,000 words in that article. You got to make sure. Look at that. You know that count was 5 words short. That's the only reason you throw someone threw a hot dog inside your article. You were 5 words short. You might have even made that up. Locals strolling to brunch and the gym took cover inside a supermarket. Many of them uncertain what had prompted the protests. Yeah, like they embrace this stuff over there. I'm not saying they embrace terrorism, but with the stuff that's been going on in New York City about all the mosques that are going up, they're allowing like a daylight prayer, or what do you call it? The daytime prayer, morning prayer. Let me see if I could find a clip of that for you. Over the loudspeakers. I don't know if you guys saw that video. So this is a, let me see, make sure I'm getting this correct here for all of you. So this is the Islamic call to prayer 5 times a day at 5 a.m. Happening in a mosque in New York. I mean, it's an interesting question. Should that be allowed? Is there a religious freedom there? Is there a right that's been established? There's more here. Residents of area Manhattan. The reason why I want to show you this is because Manhattan is where this incident allegedly took place. Residents in the area of Manhattan, New York, are complaining that since Mamdani took office, the Islamic call to prayer has been blasting 5 times a day starting at 5 a.m. Yo, look. Isn't this, I wanted to see the rollout. I wanted to see how this all plays out, from the rent freeze to the insane amount. This guy wants to spend $120 billion budget or something like that. Again, I forget that we haven't been doing a podcast for like a while, over a month. So we missed a lot of news. I missed a lot of news, or at least being able to cover it. This guy wants to spend more money than like 3 states combined. He wants to spend, in just his area alone, he wants to spend more money than the entire state of Florida. Let it happen. Look, I'm like, hey, jack up those. He wants to do a 9.5%, I believe, increase on property tax in New York. I think it was. It wasn't that the property tax was 9.5%. I believe he wanted to do a 9.5% increase in property tax on top of what you're already paying. Let it happen. They voted for this. This is my experiment that I get to sit back and watch. Me.
Is come here. I think we take pretty off Texas stuff. Yeah.
Enough of that. Enough of it. All right, moving on. We got, Mamdani calls it white supremacy. It's just whatever, dude. Whatever. All right, well, we're gonna get into some Iranian news here. Isn't that crazy, man, that all this stuff took place and we didn't have a show going on? I'm so sorry. Are you guys okay? I missed you. I really did miss you guys. I'm not even kidding, dude. I'm ecstatic right now. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be back, baby. All right, well, we have this here. We got the Khomeini. The Motaba, is that how you say his name? Mohabbataba? These Middle Eastern names, the names across the globe. Look, if your name's Ryan, I got that. If your name is Brad, I could say that, right? I could say Angel and Jeff and Karen and all those people, right? Dave. Easy names. But the Mohabbataba, it ain't easy. Was chosen by Iran's Assembly of Experts. God, we're the first sentence in. Hold on a second. Everybody settle down. Settle down. This dude, this is a bloodline, okay, to the supreme leader, was chosen by Iran's assembly of experts after his father's death. You want to know how much of experts these guys are? They keep getting themselves blown up. like, really, how long you been an expert? 48 hours? You know what I mean? 24 hours? 10 minutes? These guys are so much of experts. They blow the Khomeini up. Right, the original guy. The guy that was always chanted death to America, you know, thought his balls were bigger than they were, and Trump stepped on him. He gets blown up. And then they go try to find another guy, and they just blow that guy up too. And then what's even more crazy is after killing like 60 of these guys easily within like 15 minutes, it's not an exaggeration, by the way. They go and have a meeting in a building, just like a normal building, not underground, nothing like, just like you're going to the office, you know what I mean? You drop your kids off at school, like, going to work. And they try to elect another guy, just in a random office building there in Iran. Israel blows that up. So, I mean, really, how much of the experts are these guys, you know? They probably pulled him out of a shack, you know, cleaned him off a little bit, dusted the dirt off his shoulders, and said, hey, come on, you're coming with us. The next supreme leader of Iran will be the late Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's son. Can you believe that guy escaped? Nothing, like, really? I don't know. Because they got the wife, you know, but this guy's roaming around. This is like bin Laden's son, basically, you know, they're just going to let this guy walk around free. Iran's clerical body that appoints the country's supreme leader announced on Sunday, Iran's assembly of experts said that the younger Khamenei had been chosen with a decisive vote and urged Iranians to rally behind him, putting an emphasis on the elites and intellectuals of the seminaries and universities. Sure. Prior to the announcement, President Donald Trump said that the next supreme leader is not going to last long without U.S. approval. Look, I believe him. I really believe him. He's going to have to get an approval from us, Trump said. If he doesn't get approval from us, he's not going to last long. We want to make sure that he won't be able to go back every 10 years. When you don't have a president like me, that's not going to do it. Facts. So we'll see what's... I've heard this guy's actually worse than his father. I don't know if it mentions it in this article, but I've read other articles in the past. And by the past, I mean like, no, past week. Right? I'm an expert too, you guys. Yeah, just because you say you're an expert, you're all of a sudden an expert. I'm an expert too. The guy was an asshole. Excuse my French, but by the way, where are the French on this? Can never rely on them. We did once, you know. They really built themselves up, the French. Can we just talk about that for a second? I mean, you really talk about just kind of turning your back on a guy, you know? The French, look, they got us out of a pickle once. They made a name for themselves. But just shows you think you know somebody. Alrighty, let's get into some other news, a little wonky stuff here. There's an interesting thing that I've showed in the past, and this goes back many, many, many years ago on a video, and somebody attached it to this, but it just shows you the fakery of the whole Marxist game that's being played here. And I know it's a little bit random, but we'll get back into more news because I want to get into California gas prices because, well, you got a lot of knuckleheads thinking that it's Trump's fault. So you're going to hear this lady scream, but then there's a follow-up video here of an individual talking, and it's an old video, but the guy's spot on. I mean, he is totally spot on. Rip to your headphones, by the way. If you're in the car or you got headphones in, rip, because this lady's going to start screaming. I don't know how loud it is.
If you don't play into the trans agenda, you're cast out as a bully.
You see, the useful idiots, the leftists who are used to either be executed entirely, all the idealistically minded Marxists, or exiled or put in prisons, like in Cuba. Many former Marxists are in Cuba. In prison.
Never bother with leftists, the political prostitutes, the useful idiots. It's about as plain and simple as it could possibly be put. Political prostitutes. The left is the carrot on a stick party of their masters dangle this new problem in front of them, and they chase after it and defend it like rabid dogs. They're defending their own destruction. They are coming to defense for their own demise. They're clamoring for importing the third world so it can destroy them from the inside out. They don't even realize it. Supporting abortion, which is exterminating the next generation of people. In the name of women's rights and freedom and convenience, because that's what your masters, your handlers labeled it as. You're so easily manipulatable. Letting liberals have power is literal cultural suicide.
I mean, pretty good video, right? I think spot on. It got no commentary. I think it speaks for itself, but I saw that. I wanted to show it to you guys. I also want to show you this. Again, we'll get into more news here, but it's nice to have a little palate cleanser after talking about Mamdani, after talking about the terrorist attack that took place, because nobody else in the mainstream media really wants to talk about it. Everybody is asking in the chat if we're back. As far as now, yeah, we're back. We'll be back here. We still got another 20 minutes here, folks. Don't go anywhere. But yeah, we'll be back here every single day, 6 a.m. sharp, hopefully. You know, I say sharp because sometimes, you know, we got to make sure that the coffee's piping hot, baby. But yeah, we're I think we're officially back, man. Feels good, huh? Now we got to get the whole crew back together again. This is what happens when you take a month off, man. People think you know, you disappeared. You got to get the message out. So hit that like button, I suppose. Hit that thumbs up button. I really appreciate you guys' help here. All right, so this is the fashion week. The reason why I want to show you guys this just shows you how satanic all this stuff is, right? Growing up, and I think a lot of you will know what I'm talking about. The satanic stuff was always there. It was just kind of embedded, or what's that phrase that they use a lot in commercials where they'll flash an image in front of you and it's supposed to just like you see it, but you don't really acknowledge it, but you know it's there. I forgot the name of it, but somebody will throw it in the chat and you know what I'm talking about. It's like a little bit of manipulation. It's a marketing thing. But now the left is just out here just who thinks this is fashionable? I'm sorry, I'm not a fashionable guy. Like, I admit it. I wear shirts, like this shirt is like 15 years old. It's razor thin, you know what I mean? It's practically decaying off my body. You know, we've had the same hat for years. I get it. Okay? I get it. But what is going on here? I gotta mute it. Some of you are fashionable. Look, and I want you to speak up in the chat. I want to know, because this looks satanic to me. I had to mute the audio just because it's you know, copyrighted. But for those that are on audio, there's people that are, it looks like they're going to a funeral. They're all black. Some of them are wearing white. And there's like these long nails, you know, like those witch nails you'd always see when we were kids, you know what I mean? Like the little witch finger, those long nails, and they're always like going down some sort of recipe book to like boil some children. And they're all like, it's like their eyebrows are all shaved off. They have, I don't know what is it mascara? What do you call that stuff that goes on your eyelids and around your face? Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. And I don't know if they're trans or what, but like, what is this? This looks like one of those porcelain dolls that your grandmother had that you're always freaked out in the morning to wake up next to, you know what I mean? Or like you hear some sort of cricketing going on while you're trying to sleep at Grammy's house. You know what I'm talking about? You hear the clock going. That clock. And then like you're looking around and you just see all these freaking porcelain dolls looking at you and you don't know what's happening. You put the blankies over you because you think it's going to save you, but it's not. Look at how those have to be contacts, but look at those eyes. Michelle just said it. Satanic. I got goosebumps, man. Satanic eyes, all black. Dude. Ugh. And maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe these are Christians, right? These are just people that are they're just dressing up. They're having a little bit of fun. Maybe. Like, this guy just seems like one of those punk guys you went to high school with back in like the 90s, you know what I mean? That's still trying to like live out the era, but he's wearing high heels. This is all blacked out eyes, the makeup. This is supposed to be fashion. This is like some French fashion thing is what I'm being told. This is dark, man. Like, she's probably the most normal looking one, right? This is the sacrifice. And I'm joking, okay? People are gonna like copy this. Oh, look at Brad's talking about like they're actually sacrificing people. I don't know if they are or are not. I was joking. But she's like she's the newbie of the crew, right? Or maybe she's the darkest one. But she's probably the most normal looking one. She probably got invited, know what she was getting into. She was told to wear black and, you know, get a little bit of eye makeup on. Don't like priests or something like that wear this type of head dressing? I don't know, man. Get a freaky deaky out there, guys. And these people are just roaming around. I'm telling you, they are roaming around. Their vote counts as much as yours.
Being a pony is amazing. For me, this is probably the biggest source of happiness in my life.
It is definitely odd to see my daughter dressed up as a horse.
Being a pony is amazing.
Like, I get it. Not everybody has video. Some of you are working, you know, some of you are doing actually labor intensive jobs. Appreciate you, by the way. Thanks for making America function. So let me display what's actually going on the screen here. There is an individual that thinks they're a horse. And they have, what's that gear called? Is it BDSM? Don't ask me for the acronym because I hand to God, I'm serious, I don't know. But it's like that what the hell do you call this? They got this headgear on, and this dude has looks like a whip, and her face is painted, and he's feeding her celery. That's the chopping that you're hearing.
For me, this is...
Listen to this. Yeah, that's the celery being eaten, and feeding her thing as an animal. And look at that. And she has ears. She has fake. That's messed. That is leather ears, dude. Leather dressing. I think it's fake leather, or what's that called? Fascia? I don't know. It's...
Being a pony is amazing.
So wild.
For me, this is probably the biggest source of happiness in my life.
All right. Anywho, let's get to the gas prices. Oh, yes. Let me go to actually a nice trustworthy place here. That would be the California Post. Look at this. I don't know why there's shoes up here. I apologize, but anywho, you have here California gas crisis risks sending prices above $8 a gallon and forcing drivers to ration fuel, lawmakers. Okay, that's the title of the article. I did a TikTok video on this yesterday, and what I realized is people in California legitimately don't know what's going on. I detailed out, you know what, can we just play the video really quick? I hate to just show myself because it seems silly. It's like, well, dude, why don't you just tell us? It's just easier to play the video because it's from what I said. And you could hear what, you could see a little bit of what people are talking about. Here's the video from last night.
Have you seen this? Gas in Los Angeles just hit $8.21 a gallon at one station. $8 for a gallon of gas. I mean, think about that for a second. People are literally paying over $8 just to fill up their tank in California. And lawmakers are warning that it could actually get worse. I know some experts are saying California gas prices could go above $8 a gallon statewide by the end of this year because of a mix of their policies, taxes, and refinery shutdowns, global oil tensions, and more. Right now, California already has the highest gas prices in America, and critics are blaming things like the state's climate regulations, special fuel blends, and multiple taxes.
Just want to pause it. Everybody heard very clearly that I gave the reasons as to why usually California gas prices are really high. Because these people in the chat over here, not you guys, but over here, some of them get it. Like Daddy Kevin gets it.
America, and critics are blaming things like the state's climate regulations, special fuel blends, and multiple taxes added onto every gallon. In fact,
And people don't get the, oh, it's Trump's fault. Yeah, partially it is because he went and blew up freaking Iran, but they were already high. People are like, well, I'm not kidding, okay? Rather than scrolling through all of these comments, because there's a lot, oh, well, you know, you found one gas station that's paying $8 a gallon. So here's the gas station in LA, in Los Angeles. This is a real place, by the way. They're paying $8.29 for premium, $8.21 for unleaded. Okay, I can't play that because it's copyrighted. So there you go, right? Regular or unleaded is $8.21, basically $8.22. The plus version's $8.26, and then the Supreme is $8.30. Incredible that diesel is the cheapest one. Because lately in California, if anybody doesn't know this, they've been jacking up diesel prices. I mean, diesel should be some of the cheapest fuel. That's insane. Now it's one place, and allegedly this place is known to have the highest gas. And so when I made the video, they got upset because, oh, well, this is the thing. You're fear mongering because this is, you know, not every place is like this. I was down in southern LA and I only paid $4.50. Oh, I'm in LA and I only paid $5. You got to love this phraseology. I only paid $5. It's insane. And they go, oh, it's Trump's fault. No, it's not. You've been paying this before Trump was in office, you idiots. And yes, they are idiots. I'm sorry to call people that, but some people deserve it. Some people really do. Folks, 30 years ago, we used to have 50 refineries. We're down to like 2. So yes, it is because all the regulations. Yes, it is because of the tax. I even did a video on the tax. Matter of fact, we'll see if we can pull it up here in a moment. That I actually showed the chart of how much goes into every gallon of gas. I actually broke it down. People are ecstatic for paying $5 here in California. That's how it drives me up a wall, man. While other people are paying $2 in other states. We're paying twice as much as everybody else. And we're supposed to be excited that it's $5. Gavin Newsom's agenda, this green agenda and global oil turmoil, will risk sending California's gas prices above, listen to this, above wallet-crushing $8 a gallon. They're talking this sucker could increase over $10 by the end of this month, potentially returning drivers to the desperate fuel rationing not seen since the 1970s. This is what state lawmakers and industry experts are warning. You're going to see this because Chevron has a chokehold on Gavin right now because Gavin's an idiot. I can't wait for this guy to be out of office, man. I got like one more year with this guy. He's terrible. Knowing how this state's ran, they'll find some other idiot to do even worse. And that's how that party runs, right? Look at, they put up Joe Biden. They were trying to run Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom destroyed an entire state. And the left goes, perfect. Let's have him destroy the country. Just amazing. They're going to, I called it. Did I not call it years ago? And I said, this guy's going to run in 2028. I remember people in the chat were like, oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're silly. No, man. No, this thing works sometime. By that, I mean my head. Sometimes it's working. Most of the time it isn't. With drivers in the Golden State already facing the highest prices in the United States, that is not like an exaggeration when this author, who wrote this damn thing? Who wrote this? This isn't Anthony Blair. Shout out to Anthony for writing this. Not an exaggeration. We legitimately pay the highest gas in the entire union. The fact that you could beat out all other 49 other states is remarkable, Gavin, but you did it. But you beat him out on a lot of stuff too. Homeless, right? The drug problem, all sorts of stuff, crime. Potentially returning drivers again to the desperate 1970s, okay? You have this. Southern California state senator has urged the governor to scrap California's cap and invest program that charges oil makers for carbon emissions. She dubbed Newsom's program the cap and tax scheme and warned that closing any further oil refineries in the state could trigger economic collapse. This is something I spoke on months ago, where I talked about to all of you before we went on our break that more refineries could close. The video's on TikTok. It will actually give you the date and time of me posting that thing. And here we are. Did I not say I called this, dude? I called it, all of you. I don't mean to give myself a pat on the back here, but I do. I called it. And I said gas prices could soar, and they are. Now, again, partially it is what's going on with Iran, right? That is definitely a variable, but that is not necessarily the contributing factor right now. The contributing factor has always been and always will be the idiotic leftist policies that are crippling people. And these knuckleheads go, well, I'm okay paying a little bit more for clean air. People don't remember what smog is like. Yes, I do. I've lived here my entire life. You gotta love these idiots. Oh, I love when people make a video that don't live in California. No, I've lived here my entire life. And I've watched your guys' policies, meaning the Democrats' policies, destroy the state. That's why there's fecal matter all over the streets. That's why you can't. Do you know they're not repaving the roads here in California? They're not doing it. Dude, I saw a road. I'm not kidding. Everybody look at the camera real quick. I just drove on it literally last week up in LA. There's a road that goes like this and then dips. Yeah, I'm gonna do that again because you might have missed it. Okay, everyone look at me. No. Come in close. And dips. It dipped like a foot into the ground, dude. I've heard rumor is that they're not repaving the roads because then they have to do all these other regulations that go on with it, and it's actually too expensive. So they figured, we're just not going to repave them anymore. Very rarely would I ever have to go up to LA because I was down in Orange County. It's true. Worst roads in the Union. We have the best weather and we have the worst roads. It's not scaremongering at all, told the California Post. This is from USC Marshall School of Business, not exactly idiots up there, that found that gas prices could reach $8 a gallon by the end of 2026. No. I'm hearing by the end of the month. Because of the cap and invest, we're looking at $1 more for a gallon of gas. We are one refinery away. And I said this because either the refinery does close, and now you're going to have California competing with Nevada and Arizona for oil, which is going to cause prices to go up. But how do you go from 50 to almost zero in the span of my lifetime? From losing another 10% of California's supply. When you have less supply, the gas goes up. But people don't understand, right? It's Trump's fault. Yeah, this refinery thing is, I'm being told by all the left, this is all Donald Trump's fault. Yeah, Trump's the one that's closing the refineries down. The guy that's shouting, drill, baby, drill, build more refineries, drill in your backyard, drill in through your grandma's floor in her kitchen. That guy's the guy that's closing refineries. That's what I'm being told. This is how so far gone some of these people are, that Gavin Newsom, straight in front of their face, could close down a refinery. He does the whole ribbon cutting ceremony, right? And they're standing there just drooling at Gavin. And they're the ones that are going to tell you Trump's fault. Look at that fascist. Oh, that fascist clone of the refinery. Thank God we got Gavin out here cutting the ribbon to keep it open. As the ceremony is strictly about closing the refinery. It's something that is being studied, Trump derangement syndrome. It is actively being studied. And I can't wait for a full-fledged, multi-decade long study to come out on how it's really just screwed with people's brains, man, because it is scrambled. It is something where you'll never see anything like it again. You have a Republican state senator, Tony Strickland, has proposed a bill that he believes would lower prices by over $1. Wow, stop traffic. Hey, at least the guy's doing something. By limiting state taxes, cap and trade investments, and state low carbon fuel standard. There's Gavin laughing, doing his podcast, probably writing books, doing anything and everything other than actually running the country, or rather, he'll be doing that soon, run the state efficiently. California's paying an average right now of $4.81 per gallon for gas, average, compared to the national average of $3. Let me see if I can find that video really quick for you. The gas prices video. And I wish they had some sort of actual really good search bar. We'll see. Because I did a video a while ago on gas prices. It's an old video, so give me a moment to try to find it really quick, folks. By the way, it's good to see. A lot of you keep asking if we're going to be back full time. And by full time, our morning show, yes, we are. I want to find it because I did do a breakout of it a while ago, and I got to freaking scroll through a ton of videos. Gavin is the equivalent of Zoran. That's actually not a bad comparison. It really isn't. Let's go to oldest. Actually, popular, maybe. Well, might as well peruse together, huh? That way you could see my mug. If you're not following me on TikTok, you should. I post a video pretty much every day, or at least I try to. And we're looking for the video that has the fuel price. Here we go.
So you got to explain this stuff to the Democrats in the state of California because they just don't get it. Now, mind you, this image is from 2022, meaning it's old. So back then, you paid 51 cents state excise tax per gallon of gas. Today, in 2025,
that number is almost 60 cents per gallon. If you were to take in all— that was a year ago, by the way. This was recorded in 2025, May 10th, 2025. Meaning it's worse now, right? Not only is this video old, like the graphic that I have, right? But now we're in 2026, and it's worse than what I'm talking about here. I got to do a new video now, probably. All the taxes that we pay here in the state of California per gallon of gas, it's $1.44. And with the refineries closing soon, wow, it's almost like I told everybody what was happening, because refineries did close. Now we're wondering if the other ones are going to close. That Donald Trump's fault, though, you MAGA supporter. It's Trump's fault. Yeah, a little bit. That would be for the entire country. Can you explain this? When Donald Trump wasn't doing this, can you explain this? Because, gee, who was in office in 2022? That number is going to be jacked up big time. It ain't Donald Trump's fault. It's your policies. You guys this run guy the knows state. Something. Newscomb runs the state. Go blame him. Guy knows something. I like this guy. You should subscribe to that guy. He knows a little bit of something every now and then. Like, sometimes he's off. Sometimes he's not making much sense. But other times, he knows what he's doing. All right, let's get into some other news here. There was this I saw, and I kind of wanted to dive into this together. There was this Women's Day protest in New York drawing online ridicule from the right. It says on March 8th, for International Women's Day, and resist activities protested near Trump Tower, holding signs like impeach, convict, and then it says the R word, because we can't say that on YouTube because our speech is strict or restricted. Over sexual assault claims, abortion limits, and immigration. In Central Park, women in a circle followed megaphone prompts to scream out their rage for 90 seconds, captured on video by Turning Point USA Frontlines. Conservative commentators like Nick Sorter, Kevin Sorbo mocked the scenes online as psychotic. Yeah. Well, let's see this. I know this is what this is like the Islamic call of prayer. Good morning, you guys.
What makes you mad?
That poor dog, dude. There's a dog right here. That poor dog has to deal with this lady. Oh my God. Oh my God.
What makes you mad? And now I invite you to scream. And now, I invite you to bounce.
Oh my God.
Shake it up. Haven, shake your arms. Are you scared? You okay? Shake it up. Put your arms over your arms. Give yourself a hug. This is called havening. Feel your hands, shake it out, and give it back to the earth.
Look, we got to document it, guys. That's one of the reasons for the show. You document history. And granted, I've explained why I do this show. It's to call out the progressive left, the psychotic behavior, all that stuff. But we got to document this. This is history in the making, man. You got Kevin Sorbo here. Liberal women are gathering in New York City and screaming to their let out rage in celebration of International Women's Day, but they can't define what a woman is. It's always a remarkable thing. You gotta love that one. But don't worry, white feminists have stormed outside Trump Tower. Trump uses women to do their dirty work. There's more evidence of Bill Clinton doing stuff like tenfold than there is Donald Trump, but here they are. Probably paid. Yeah, there you go. riseandresist.org. Yeah, tells you right there. Because it probably, I've heard these guys are making like $100 an hour easy. Over $100 an hour. I don't know if that's true. I don't mean these specific people. But let's read some of these signs. No more cover up. Turn the files into trials. You know, they sat around like some sort of a kumbaya meeting, eating celery like we saw with that one chick that thought she was a horse. Let's see what the other signs say here. Let's see how crafty these people really are. I can't even read that. What does that say? Damn right we are something. Again, none of these people were out 4 years under Joey. Like, that was my question, is like, where was, like, if they want to do the Trump stuff, fine, but where were you for 4 years, crickets? Jules, you said it correctly. How embarrassing for normal women.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Jeez, man. I just, it's crazy. So, not Nick Sorter. Who was it? I want to see Nick Shirley's take on this, actually. He actually had a video on it. He has Mamdani stuff there. I want to see, because I thought he did a video walking about people screaming. We're going to go through this just really quick here. I guess he doesn't have it. Weird. I thought I saw a video of him walking yesterday and talking about the protests and how crazy it was and psychotic. I could have swore there was a video. So, all right. Biden did this bleep in front of us. Yeah. Well, the thing is, people think this is normal. It's normal to go out and scream and shout and start stomping your feet in the middle of a park with a bunch of people. And I don't know why Pete is not getting involved with animal rights, because you're just screaming in that dog's ear. If a dog can hear a weenie whistle, man, that poor thing, dude. Just out there, just having to listen to that lady. Couldn't leave it at home. Gentlemen, I guess ladies too, because there were some guys there stomping their feet too, like idiots. You probably never loved your spouse more. You know what I mean? I mean, just do I need to go back to what I just showed you? That of what could have been. You know what I mean? Don't worry, I'm just gonna play it, but no audio. You dodged a bullet. Oh, yeah. Good morning. Rip the ears. So there's both men and women here. And the purpose of me bringing this up is tell your loved one you love them. Give them a nice kiss, you know what I mean? They might aggravate you at times, you know, the honeydews, the list of chores to get done. You could have wound up with something like this. I know you're going to say, never, Brad, that could have never been me. Could have. This could have been you. And you could have been married to this thing. Oh, honey, I'm going to go out to the park. Because I'm going to go scream to the skies because I deserve to abort babies and say Charlie Kirk was a Nazi and he deserved to be shot. I would go to the park and scream to all these other people I don't know. I don't know what a woman is, but I'm going to go yell. We'll start stomping our feet and... in another life. And by the way, ladies, this could have been you. You know what I mean? You could have took some weird turns in your life and you could have been shaking it out in the middle of a park in DC or wherever and on National International Women's Day or what day it was. It's crazy because the left want to like support women, but yet like the amount of abortions they're pulling through here, they are really they're really doing a number on women. Just nuts, man. Just nuts. Anyways, let's see if there's any breaking news before we bounce out here. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention this really quick. I did see a headline on Trump says this. So this is just now happening. Trump says he and Israeli prime minister will make mutual decision on ending the war. President Donald Trump on Sunday hinted that the decision to end the war in Iran will be a mutual one that he will make with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Trump made the remarks during a brief phone interview with the Times of Israel. I think it's mutual a little bit, Trump said, adding that he and Netanyahu have been talking. I'll make a decision at the right time, but everything is going to be taken into account, Trump said. The president then added that while Netanyahu will have input, the final say will ultimately be his own. Trump has made previous comments that the war against Iran could last 4 weeks. I'm glad he threw that in there, whoever wrote this, because that is true. We'll see if that stays. And that the U.S. was ahead of schedule. Trump administration officials have not provided any specific timelines. I hope Donald Trump does stick to the 4 weeks. I think that's kind of a lot of people's fear, is that this is going to turn into some more of a, we're going to be there for 20 years. It's kind of everyone's, I don't want to say fear, but kind of all eyes, I think, on both sides of the aisle are on it. And I think it would look good for Trump. Kind of do something similar to what he did with Maduro. You go in, you execute the operation, or what he's done before with Iran when he took the B-2s and blew up the nuclear facilities. Whether he actually blew them up or not, that's debated, doesn't matter. But he got in and got out really quick. I think I would like to see something similar to what he does here, is go in, get the mission done, actually accomplish it. And then after the 4 weeks or what you've done, you end up getting out. And because that's going to give a lot of that, like, one, it does two things. First, it shows that he's a man of his word, which I think everybody agrees that he somewhat is. He's made some promises in the past that just haven't worked out, and that's everybody. But the second part is that mission accomplished. Like, he actually, has a goal in mind, and he accomplishes, and he does it. I actually think he's going to follow through with this. The reason why is because Donald Trump doesn't want to see the economy take a hit, and oil prices are taking a hit right now. I mean, let's look at the barrel of oil. I think it's over $100 now. You'll see the spike. There has to be a spike. I haven't seen it, but there has to be one. So let me look at the oil prices here really quick. I heard it's over $100 a barrel. It got down to like 70 or something like that before, maybe even lower. So where's oil? Yeah, get this crude oil. Here we go. Yeah, it's over $100 right now. All right. And there we go. And let's do 6 months. Yep, there you go. So you could see it. Matter of fact, let's do 1 month. Yep. So it was down, like I said, look at that. It's down, about $60, $60. That's great. And it's been uniform. I mean, that is a very uniform distribution right there. The reason why I want to call that out is because that isn't market volatility, right? That's not just random stuff going on. That there's a lot of variables that go into this, so I don't really just want to name one. But when you have a nice uniform distribution like that, that means whatever strategy that is being put forward is working. Whether that's more drilling, whether that's removing regulations, it doesn't matter what it is. Whatever strategy the Trump administration was utilizing was working for a time. But as you could see with the most recent events, as you can imagine, oil prices kind of start skyrocketing. Also a good reason as to why you need to drill, baby, drill, and not rely on other people for other things. One of the other things that's going to take a hit is fertilizer. Fertilizer's produced a lot over there. You also have the Strait of Hormuz, I believe, is being kind of blockaded somewhat. I heard we're going to have military guys escorting stuff. But this is another reason as to why you don't want to rely on the rest of the world for certain things. That's why, for example, you didn't want to have all your chip manufacturing taking place in Taiwan. What a genius idea to have almost, I'm going to make it be a silly number, 90% of chip manufacturing happening in Taiwan, where you have the Chinese doing military drills every Wednesday and going, oh, we're going to take it over. We're going to take it over. Okay, well, what happens when the Chinese take over Taiwan? What happens? Yeah, it's usually not a good option, not a good idea. And anytime you bring this up to the left, they don't have an answer for it. Like, oh, what happens if a government goes usurpacious? Whether it's us or somebody else, what happens? Well, you're kind of seeing what happens. So probably shouldn't you drill and take care of your own people, produce stuff here, make stuff? Oh, it's going to be so expensive. Yeah, well, so is everything else that utilizes chips, which is basically everything if China were to invade Taiwan. You think it's expensive now? You think it would be expensive to make America build America? Yeah, wait, well, yeah, well, this is stuff like this will happen, except it's going to happen tenfold. You explain that to them. Well, and by the way, who's going to make it? Who's going to make it? And what I mean by that is, if China invades Taiwan, this is just one example of many, because people can't see a multivariate analysis of what's taking place, right? That's just one example. Just one example of many of countries having a dominant market cap or having dominant market space in the economy for said good or service, whatever it is. I don't care what it is. If something were to happen, like a world war, God forbid, or we to go to war with somebody, who's going to make the stuff? Our allies is what they said. I'll give you the answer. That's what they said, our allies. Really, because when COVID happened, we had that social experiment. We had that global experiment. We actually learned a lot from it. Well, you hope we learned a lot from it. Gavin didn't. That's for damn sure. He locked everything down. Well, we saw that. Yeah, we were able to have a surplus in some equipment, and we were able to give it to our allies. But you know what? Our allies didn't exactly have a ton of surpluses. Yeah, we were screwed. They had to fend for themselves too. We couldn't rely on them for stuff. You shouldn't rely on anybody but yourself. You shouldn't rely on anybody but yourself. I mean, you rely on the Lord. That's a given, right? That's kind of baked into the cake. But yeah. All right. Well, hey, let's go to the chat here a little bit before we say hasta la vista. Charlie did it right. Charlie's missed, man. There's there's three individuals that, man, you really miss their voice: Rush Limbaugh, Charlie Kirk, and Dennis Prager. Dennis Prager's still around. He's still trying his best to get out there. He just had a book, by the way. If you haven't seen his book, you should buy it, actually. Actually, maybe I think it's on PragerU. Let me see here. Dennis has a book out. If you haven't read it, mine's still in order, but they're doing a trio. I thought this was kind of cool. So if there is no God, and then you also get Stop in the Name of God by Charlie Kirk. So this is Charlie Kirk's last book before he passed. He was actually, I think it was in editing or something like that when he was assassinated, but it's dedicated to Dennis Prager, actually, which is pretty crazy. So Charlie used to talk to Dennis like once a week at least. Charlie Kirk actually visited Dennis Prager in his hospital room. They were very, very close. People forget that, right? They always go like, oh, the PragerU is all about the Jews. No, PragerU is Judeo-Christian values. Like these guys were best friends. But this is a new book, If There's No God. And Glenn Beck wrote the foreword. And then there's kids books here. By the way, if you're not prayers for night. If you're not a subscriber over at PragerU, you need to be. Follow them on Facebook and all the platforms, man. Like I watch them as much as I watch like the Daily Wire. But yeah, order his book if you go here. Matter of fact, let me give you guys the link. I miss Rush too. Dennis is coming out though. He's doing good stuff, but man, these voices are missed. Dennis still does his latest thoughts. If you haven't seen Marissa's show either, you guys should check that out. Marissa, great show, by the way. Totally underrated. Needs way more people following her. Check her out on Facebook and respond. These are people we need to support, like the guys over at the Daily Wire, the people over at PragerU, people like me, my show. If you see one of their shows, make sure you guys leave a comment. You know what I mean? It really does help. It's a small way. It's a small way. Daily Wire and PU are, no, I don't believe that a bit. They do a very strong voice in the conservative movement, very much needed. You don't have them, your conservative movement is very, very small, by the way, especially the voice. They do phenomenal work, both Daily Wire and PragerU. I will defend them all day. Christianity came from the Jewish faith, accept it. That is true. Yep. Dennis Prager has a really great quote. It's something along the lines of, PragerU, like Daily Wire, and I do actually subscribe to this. It's the idea that, yes, America first, but not America only. I think that's such a good phrase because it is true. We're all America first here. I mean, you see the hat. You guys know my brand, my show. I'm America first guy. But it is true, not America only. You just can't leave people out there. That's not who we are as a nation. We could have been left out. We could have been left out many times, but people came in to help us. So, America first, but not America only is Dennis Prager's quote, and I agree with that. So, it's always interesting whenever you talk about like Israel or, well, yeah, just Israel, people always have a need to say that Christ is king or, you know, Jesus accepted all these things. You know, again, as I'm a Christian, I just find it odd. And I think some of you should really see inside yourselves why you feel a need to have to say that. Do you know what I mean? It always is odd to me whenever you talk about like Israel or somebody connected to Israel or it's anything regarding like Jewish people. It's so odd to me. And again, I am Christian. Like, I do think Jesus is the way, right? That's what's said. I just think it's interesting that whenever you bring up somebody that's Jewish, people always feel the need as Christians to say that Christ is king, right? Or like Jesus is the way, Jesus is the door, like whatever it may be. I just always thought that was weird. And I guess I'm calling some of you weird in the chat, but I do think that's a little odd. like, yeah. Like, you're like, it's like going outside saying like the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Like, yeah. But it's like, you don't need to mention it every time somebody talks about like Jewish people or religion. You know what I mean? It's just a little, I've just noticed it all over social media because I'm always actively on it, right? No matter if I'm on Twitter or some like Facebook or TikTok or where, it doesn't matter the social media. Whenever somebody posts anything that's remotely connected to Israel, it doesn't even be explicitly stated. People are like, Christ is king, right? Jesus is the way. It's like, again, I'm Christian. It's just very odd. I want to know, does anybody else think that's odd? You're weird, Brad. I know I'm weird. That's the thing. But did you guys notice that too? I just want to, I want to know if I'm the only one that notices that. I see it like even I could do it, right? And it's weird because the right does this all the time, especially like, what do they call the grippers? I could do a video on Israel, just talk about the news, not even agreeing with Israel. Just, hey, Israel and the United States are doing this thing. Christ is king. Jesus is the way, blah, 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 right? And they go down the list, but it's like, it's a very odd thing that I see the right do a lot. And I'm like, why do you feel the need to have to say that? It's like, if you're so sure about your faith, then that's cool. But to keep blasting, it's a very, I've always thought it was weird. Like Christ is king. It's like, yeah. Correct. Like, so you're gonna like, I just don't see it. I don't get it. Maybe you guys could tell me. I say it when I want to irritate some crazy people. Yeah, that's kind of my vibe. I think. I think people do that to irritate people. I mean, I find it irritating. I kind of find it like a waste of space, like a waste of time because it's like, yeah. So because the Jewish people don't believe Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Yeah. But I mean, you know that. like you're not surprising them by telling them that what you're saying, right? Like that's like who are those people that believe in like those aliens? Is that Scientology or whatever? It's like it's like one of them writing in your chat or your video, whether you talk about going like you know, Zoltan is the God of the universe. You reading that as somebody that's a Christian, you'd be like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? Like, whatever. Like, what are you doing? Right? Just imagine somebody writing something silly like that going, Zoltan is the creator of the universe. He's God. It's like, okay. Like, what? Like, we're talking about the economy right now, right? But it has something to do with the universe, right? But what we have a need to do it. It's always been very strange. It's a programmed response. Miss Mom, I think you're right. That's weird that people say that. It's kind of, and I'm going to call people out on it here. I think when people say stuff like that Trump is like in the pockets of the Israelis or Trump is Israel first, I think you're no different than what the left does. I think you saying that is equivalent to the left having Trump derangement syndrome. I think when people keep bringing up the Israeli stuff about Trump and that Israel first and all these other things, I really do believe this. I don't care if I lose subscribers over this. I think you straight up are equivalent to the left having Trump derangement syndrome. And there's a lot of people in the chat that have this. And that's the great thing about me not being ran by a corporation. I could say wherever the fuck I want. I think you have just equivalent to Trump derangement syndrome. That's just what I think. And that's a great thing. I get to say what I think. Because I don't think Trump is Israel first. I think he's America first. I think he does everything that tries to advance the American people. You can use the help of Israel. Israel is like a freaking carrier in the over in that region for us. And it's so funny how it's like we utilize them, but nobody talks about the Brits. You know what I mean? Nobody talks about the UK Nobody talks about Australia. Nobody talks about all these other countries that are involved with our stuff. It's crazy. It's just like, and that's why I think it's like, I call it the Trump derangement syndrome, right? It's like these people that go out and are protesting, you know, Trump and Epstein right outside his office. But yet they're not over there at Bill Clinton's house. They're not over there at Bill Clinton's nonprofits. They're not out there where Joe Biden's home is, or his nonprofits or his businesses. They're not out there for Bill Gates and all these other places, right? It's really no different than what the left does. It is a linear thinking of logic. Trump and Israel this, Israel that. It's like, that's the same stuff they do with Trump derangement syndrome. Trump this, Trump that, it's all Trump. It's like, you're just doing the exact same shit they are. Instead of talking about Trump, you're just talking about Israel. Like, no. Like, America first. That is my brand. People say that about me, like, oh, you're Israel first. No, I'm America first. Like, I'm open about it. But that's why I like Dennis Prager's quote. But not America only. It's nice to have allies. It's nice to have the boys like Shib over there in the UK. It's nice to have the boys coming in hot with us. Do you know what I mean? I like having the English with us. Those are the Scots. You know what I mean? Everybody over there in the UK, I like when they're storming the beaches of Normandy with us. Sorry to have the boys with us, but I don't exactly want to be by myself. I kind of like having the Australians with us. They're badasses. Some really strong, powerful men. Yeah. Now, are we great? Absolutely. Are we the best military force? Absolutely. But you know what? The Israelis got great technology. And I'll tell you what, they know how to fuck shit up. And I kind of like having them all on our side. I don't exactly want the Israelis against us. I like them. They know how to fight. They have great weaponry. And you know what? It's nice having somebody over there. So, but just want to call that out. And I will continue to call that out. Weird when somebody has to say Christ is king in somebody's chat when Israel's brought up, or not even when Israel's brought up. A little odd that people are like having their own Trump derangement syndrome with Israel on our side. But it's like, no, America first. America's great. I love this country. It's why I live here. Trump is the only one who agreed to bomb Iran twice with Israel. So, by the way, even if Israel wasn't involved in this, you guys would still say something about Israel because you got a syndrome. Like Bit has a syndrome. I love Bit. I know Bit. Bit, you know I love you, but you got a syndrome. And I think something to look at, man. Christ is king, Jeff. I mean, they have other Middle Eastern countries at war with them too. Yep. Well, I mean, exactly. If you look at all the other countries that are going against Iran, it's not just Israel and the United States, by the way. But again, when you have a syndrome, you have to look at just one single variable. And that single variable for people on the right, for some reason, is always Israel. They don't look at all the other countries that are involved in this bombing. You don't think that we're receiving intelligence from other countries? You don't think that other countries are involved in some way, shape, or form? So, Starmer doesn't need to grab women. Oh, geez. You guys are ridiculous. Hey, I'm back, Chris. Cool, Chris, you're a little late. All right, well, we got to go to work here, folks. We got to get ready. We got to make a difference in people's lives. Because if you don't, some of you in the chat are going to look like this. This is how some of you look. I'm just going to call this out. Some of you, this is you in Israel. Bit, this is you. All right, we're going to call Bit out in the chat because he's like, gets this issue with Israel. But this is Bit right now with Israel. This is Bit right now. Anytime Israel's involved in anything with us.
Now I'm going to start with O, and at a certain point I'm going to invite you to scream. So we're going to start with O and feel that.
Oh God. This is what the right is like when they have to put Christ as king in everybody's chat whenever they're Jewish. Ooh. It's like, shut up. You know what I mean?
And now I invite you to shout out what makes you really mad.
Israel!
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
And you know I'm all right. You guys know I'm right. This is literally the right. This is the Republicans and some conservatives with Israel. These people have Trump derangement syndrome. This is what they do. This is the equivalent of the right with Israel. Involved in everything. I think we're gonna end it there. I think I've said my piece. Oh my God. Well, we'll be back here tomorrow, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for more of the Bald Brad Show. Yes, this is going to be a regular thing. Hopefully it's going to be a regular thing. And this is what we do here. We call up the news. We have a little bit of fun. We call at each other. We poke a little bit of fun. But that's the nice thing, right? We could poke fun at each other. You guys poke fun at me. And we'll be back here tomorrow. covering more news. Let's see what goes on. We'll try to cover more stuff as we go forward. I think we kind of spent a lot of time on the New York City stuff and Iran and well, seeing these psychos jumping up and down out in the middle of a park screaming to the skies. But that's what they do. They scream at Teslas too. They wipe their doo-doo on Teslas. They're a bunch of psychos. But you know that. With that being said, it's good to see you guys. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad to be back. I missed you. I really did miss you guys, man. It was odd. I mean, I got to sleep in a lot, but I'd rather be hanging out with you fine folks. They could fight their own wars. They can't. They're small. You should see the size of Israel. Israel is extremely small. The fact that you think they can go up against other countries is wild. Most of us try to stop our anger. Yeah, that's good. You gotta be at peace with yourself. You'll all have the real TDS. Yeah. Well, I hope you guys have a lovely day. Pray for this country. Pray for Donald Trump. Pray for peace on earth, because Lord knows we all need it. And pray for the Iranian people, man. Regardless of the outcome, I hope that everybody has a prosperous life. That's the end of the line, because at the end of the day, we're all going to meet our maker, regardless of whoever you believe in. And spend some time in the scriptures today. By the way, I always want to mention that. Spend some time in the scriptures, read your Bible, read whatever faith you watch or listen or read or are into. I think that's important. And that will help with the anger thing you guys brought up in the chat. If you have anger, I think, Bible talks a lot about patience. God does a lot of reminding, if you haven't gotten that, out of the 31,173. I think there's 31,173 lines in the Bible. Revelation has 404 verses. There's a lot of times where God has to remind his people. We're very forgetful. So it's always why it's important. We'll be back tomorrow. Yes, we will. 6 a.m. Hopefully you guys are there. Be there, be square. My mornings weren't the same without you and the chat. I know, mine neither. There's no more dark MAGA. We don't have time. Especially with the new job. No, I'm working a lot. And it's not a bad thing. I really enjoy what I do with great people. But yeah, no more dark MAGA, unfortunately. We'll see if we can do part of the Rumble Creator Program and maybe do like 30 minutes or so of like Rumble Premium, maybe something at night. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what we can do. I want to get back. I'm not part of the Rumble Creator Program anymore, so I want to get back into that. I got to make a little bit of moolah. I had to move, so rent's more expensive here. So if you guys want to donate, I actually am not going to take your donation money, but the money that I'm making on the show, I'm actually going to put towards rent and stuff like that. Things are a little bit more expensive than they were from where I was at previously. So, yeah, my goal is actually to continue to make actual money on here. So your donations will always stick with going back into the show. What that means is paying for software if we needed like a new keyboard or something. Some of you guys always want me to buy like a cup of coffee or something like that with your money. I only do that if you say so. But your donation money will always strictly stay with the show. But any money I make on that, like advertisements or something like that, right? We just naturally make a few bucks here or there. Will go into paying rent and utilities and stuff like that. So, but if you want to chip in for rent, you can. I'll take people's money. I don't care. What do they call that? A grifter? I don't mind grifting for. I'll be out there panhandling. But anyways, yeah. Donations are back open if people would like. We'll be back here tomorrow, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for more news. Again, please don't act like this lady on the screen here. Let's not be this. Let's be a little bit more adults here. By the way, thank you for always sticking with me, you guys. It's freaking awesome. Knowing that you guys are going to be here this morning was pretty dope. Yeah, knowing that the regulars would be here, that yeah, it's just nice. It's nice to see you guys. It's like hanging out with old friends again. Alrighty. Well, I gotta get out of here. You're gonna keep me forever. I'm gonna be late. All right, guys. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye. Jeez, Bruce with the late dono. Bruce coming in hot. Love the show, Brad. $100. Jeez, man. Yeah, look, we have to do the outro again. We gotta make sure I read that. Bruce over at YouTube with the $100. Love the show. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. That's very kind of you. You're always showing up, man. Always donating a ton of money to the show. I appreciate that, dude. Bruce is always coming in hot. But I want to make sure I read that. I saw that right at the show end, right before I took my headphones off and everything. I was about to stand up and I was like, whoa, hold on a second. We gotta get that going. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Keep the lights on here for us. Quite literally, keep the lights on. This stuff is freaking expensive. For a hobby, this is an expensive hobby. Let me tell you. The software, the programs, Adobe, the website, all that stuff. Appreciate you. You guys are the best. Love you. All right, take care. Thanks again, Bruce. God bless you.